Shoo! Shoo, go! Don't come near my bins. Fucking hell. Tell you what, we've got a bit of a fox epidemic going on around here. I found that one in one of my bins. Madness, madness. Anyway, so this time I wanted to talk about how businesses that don't do marketing definitely do marketing. So what I think a lot of this comes down to is a misunderstanding of what marketing is. Okay, so lots of people think that marketing is advertising. It's not. Advertising is a part of it, follows on from it. But fundamentally, what marketing is it's how you grow a business, any business. So anyone that's ever thought about what product might be valuable has done marketing because they're making a decision. If they've looked at their target audience, they've done marketing. They're looking at their ICP, their ideal customer profile. If they're looking at areas that they might want to work in or industries they might want to work in, they're doing segmentation, they're doing targeting. Anything that helps a business grow is marketing. Most of what I do isn't advertising. Most of what I do is planning. It's research, it's unpacking the research, it's developing strategies that then help us grow that business even better and even larger. So let's look at a few examples. So the first thing that I do when I start working with a new client is I do a workshop with them to unpack everything I can from their understanding of how they think the market sees them, of how their customers see them. So we do what I call a 3Cs post-it note workshop, where basically we have company, we have competitors, and we have customers, and I get everyone to run through a list of questions from the customer's perspective. What would you put here? Everyone puts their post-it notes up on the wall. We then review it collectively, and we come to a single point of truth within what the business thinks it knows about itself. So that gets me so far forward, okay? What we really need to understand, though, is how they're seen from the outside, how the ideal customer will see them. So part of what we do in the following on from the workshop is we then look at developing the ideal customer profiles. And that usually will follow some more research. So depending on the budget, let's say, for example, we've got a decent sized budget, we might do a category buyer survey where we ask a bunch of questions to people through a third-party database, people who have bought from the category that my client is working on. So let's say, for example, jewelry. Have you bought jewelry online or from a TV channel in the past 24 months? And then we ask them about their purchases. We ask them about what they do, their preferences, their met and unmet needs, brands they're aware of. And that gives us a really solid view of the marketplace, where the brand sits within the marketplace, who the ideal customer really is, and everything that we need to do to step forward. Now, if you haven't got the budget for that, you can do a simple customer survey. You can do interviews with customers. So typically my second step would be to interview some customers. So it will be a scripted interview where I, as a third party, basically seek to qualify whether or not what I've been told internally is the case. And we then take that onto a broader survey, i.e. category buyer survey, or maybe just an online survey. So that tells us what people want, what they get from us, what they don't get from us, and what they get from other people. It tells us who they are, so we know who the competition are, we know how the company is seen, and we know who our customers are at this point. Then let's have a look at how they sit in the category set. So I've talked before about distinctiveness, and that's why I wear a hat, that's why I'm sat in front of the bins. How memorable are you? Verbally, tonally, visually. So I would do a full competitive analysis, looking at what is going to be memorable, what's going to be the takeaway. And it can be something important, it can be the strap line, it can be something less important, it could be a kind of an accent colour. But looking across the category, what's jumping out? And if it's not us, Where's the white space from what everyone else is saying where we can jump out? Okay, so I haven't got anywhere near advertising yet. But what we've got here is we've got a roadmap of how we can visually, verbally, and tonally be distinctive. We'd then develop ideal customer profiles and then develop a strategy around each ideal customer profile. Along the lines of, we're going to get our ideal customer who has certain problems to buy the thing, buy. And buy is the strategy of how we take it to them. Now, it's important to be focused. Some businesses aren't focused, some are a bit too broad, but they still made some kind of decision. You know, they're not going to be selling cat food to people that don't own cats, for example. So we're still on paper. We're still on paper. We're still paper and pen or spreadsheets. Okay. So once we've got that strategy down, once we've got that agreed how we're going to go to market, what we want people to know, think, feel and do when they see or come into contact with our brand, then we'd look at developing a plan. And the plan is how we get in front of these people, when we get in front of these people, the channels that we're using. All of this is marketing. So, you know, if you've seen Emily in Paris, that's not marketing, it's promotion. You know, and there are lots of people, I've talked in the past about kind of, you're in marketing, but you're not a marketer. There's lots of people in marketing that do facets of it, but the actual function of marketing is a business function, okay? And it's far more about understanding the business and the opportunities than it is coming up with cool ideas. Now, I'm a former creative. I still love creativity, but it has to be built on sand. And so the sand is the planning. It's the strategy. It's everything that we do before we try to get to market. Because if we're not clear on who we are, who we're for, and why we should be memorable and considered, then we're really starting from the back of the race. So good marketing means that you're not. It means you're on the front foot. So from that point of view, when you do then start getting into what businesses who say they don't do marketing consider marketing, you're actually doing it in a very strategic, very focused way that's going to deliver results. And it's going to deliver results because you've got to be single-minded to the strategy. Again, not everyone is. But at that point, we might be looking at, okay, do we want to run ads? Where are we going to find our ideal customer profile? Do we go broadband? Do we go very targeted? Do we go performance marketing? Do we go brand? I think everyone knows the 60-40 rule. If you don't, it's Burnett and Field. And the recommendation broadly is that you should be spending 60% of your marketing or advertising budget on brand building, so people know who you even are and recognize you, and 40% on performance, i.e. bringing people into purchase. It's usually the other way around. But again, how these things work together, all of this is marketing. We still haven't got to the creative. We still haven't got to the output. We still haven't got to the strap line or the ad or the video or the social post. That all follows. Now, some people do just go at it and throw things at the wall and hope for the best. That's a great way of kind of wasting money, but by the same token, if all you do is strategize and you don't actually deliver any tactics, it's just masturbation. So you need to have the strategy, which needs to be built on research, which then informs and leads and sets the parameters and the targets and the success metrics for the tactics. They need to work hand in hand. So if you say you don't do marketing, sorry, but you do. Piss off. Why are you feeding him? Oh man, no wonder he keeps coming round here. Look, he's only got 3 legs. Yeah, I know, poor him, but he's attacking my bins. It scares my kids. Man, Ray.